And welcome back. This is session number 2 in our series. We've been talking about the banking system, so let's talk now about bankers, specifically being a private banker. Now, the world would have you believe, wouldn't they, that to be a banker, you need first to be licensed by the state. Got to be licensed for everything, right? And you got to be approved by endless agencies, both state and federal. You've got to have a who's who of notables on your board of directors and have multi-millions in cash to have as reserve capital. And that's just for starters. All right, now that might be true if you want to be a banker dealing with the public from a public corporate platform. But what would you think if you could be a private banker without any of that falderall? Did anyone ever tell you that you could be a private banker? Well, you can. Look at this definition out of Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition. In a general sense, a person that engages in business of banking. In the narrower meaning, a private person who keeps a bank, one who is engaged in the business of banking without being incorporated. That's odd. I've never seen an unincorporated bank, have you? Something to consider. One who carries on the business of banking by receiving money on deposit, with or without interest, by buying and selling bills of exchange, promissory notes, stocks and bonds, or other securities, and or by loaning money without being incorporated. That seems odd. Continuing, under some statutes, an individual banker, as distinguished from a private banker, is a person who, having complied with the statutory requirements, that's an individual banker, mind you, has received authority from the state to engage in the business of banking. While, on the other hand, a private banker is a person engaged in banking without having any special privileges or authority from the state. Have you ever seen that before? What this definition is telling us, and of course, definitions out of Black's Law Dictionary come straight out of court decisions. These are all court rulings. So, bottom line is, a private banker is a person engaged in banking without having any special privileges or authority from the state. So guess what? You could be a private banker. You want to be a private banker? Well, I think maybe you already are and don't even know it. Look at this. Again, one who is engaged in the business of banking. All right, so do you write checks? Is this for your personal business? When you write checks, you're issuing orders to pay, which in fact are negotiable instruments. There's 2 types of negotiable instrument. There are orders to pay and there are promises to pay, different forms of each. Okay, but those are the 2 types of negotiable instruments. So when you write checks, you're issuing negotiable instruments. Are you charging to a credit card? When you do, you're engaging in business using bills of exchange electronically. Have you ever applied for a loan? If so, you're using negotiable instruments with your promise to pay, and you're issuing negotiable instruments, I should say, and in so doing, you're increasing the M2 money supply. Well, isn't that what bankers do? That's what you've been doing. Hey, guess what? You are a private banker. So think for a minute. What could you do as a private banker, knowing that you can create money? Think about that, and we'll talk further in the next video. I hope I have you thinking. Bye for now.